The Witch Saga presents Death to Dorkau, Episode 1, written by Desmond Lynch. In the world of Teramor lies a continent divided by chaos and time. To the east, the land of Kazia, a newly founded empire, a power sharing between many great nations, struggling with its existence after a devastating war that almost brought society to the brink of collapse. But the atrocities that befell this land is nothing compared to the horrors that lie in the west. It is called the Waste, the land of endless ruins to a once great civilization. But then came the calamity, destroying the known world and sending all those who survived back to the Dark Ages. Those who survived called themselves the Resolve, free city-states comprised of the mutated survivors of the Waste who lived to serve the great Dorkau, the god emperor of the Waste himself, locked in an eternal war with Nekli Sun, the king of the damned. 1,000 years have passed. Millions have died in a pointless war, but there are those who would seek to bring it to an end. I am the beholder. I see everything that has and ever will happen, and this is their story.
Wake up, prisoner.
The nightmares are back. Rations are growing sparse, and even a man such as myself cannot get the treatment to ail them. It seems once silenced, they come back worse than ever. It is a terrible time and place in which we live, to wake from one nightmare and enter into another.
I am here for the prisoner. Open the cell. Dorcaen Milos,
Yes,
it is time.
it is a funny sensation to await death. Life up to now had been so quick, sudden, without thought or notice, yet now, each moment I drink up as it is my last. It is true what they say. You do not miss the water till the well runs dry. In a dire moment such as this, I can only think of what it took to bring me here. To think that it was only 4 months ago where I stood at my altar. We gathered here today to mark the loss of one of our Lord's great soldiers, Terrianus Resolve, who fought bravely for the Resolve in the ruins of the Waste, tragically killed by these savages of Nekli Sun. Terrianus Resolve was not only... Even while I say this, my stomach turns. To tell a lie in such a holy place, I never thought I'd see the day. But what is worse, Terrianus was alive when I saw him, barely hanging on. I tried to save him, but the operation failed, and he died. All the good doctors have fled, leaving priests like me to pick up after them. It is truly the worst of times. I barely make it through the sermon. This is when the nightmares truly began. I tried my best to make scares after the ceremony, but circumstance was not in my favor. And for decency, I was forced to stay.
How you could keep a straight face during that, I have no idea.
Well, for one, it's not funny, Lieutenant Alligar.
A soldier is killed by enemy forces while directing a caravan and chosen to the Deadlands to get devoured by Dorcau's army of the dead. It sounds like a joke to me.
Well, if it is, I don't get it.
I think you do. You saw these injuries and bite marks. Dorcau's horde is out of control.
I don't want to talk about it. Not here. Despite your issues, this is a holy place.
Was a holy place. Just like this was once a great kingdom. It's funny how things change.
But why aren't I laughing? I look over the funeral party. Nobles, merchants, and even Monarch Petritzni are here. Almost none of them knew the soldier. Most of them are only here out of respect for his father, Major Terrianus Resolve. We're all mutants here, though some are cleaner than most. Terrianus is no exception. Outside of the scales around his throat and the spikes on his head, he looks most like a man. Our eyes lock for a moment. I quickly look away, and when I look back, he's gone. Elgar noticed it.
Have you spoken to him yet?
What's the point? He hates me. That I know for sure.
Maybe, but not enough. Here, take this.
A letter? What is this?
Don't bring attention to it. Just put it in your pocket and act natural.
Elgar, I don't understand.
We know your faith has been waning, Milos. You're not alone. There are others who are similar. They seek to bring about change, real change. Read it when you're alone. Burn it and tell no one.
Hey, I don't know what you're talking about.
Terrianus has personally invited you to this meeting. If you don't attend, you'll greatly insult him. This is a man you do not insult, and you have upset him greatly already.
You're saying I don't have a choice?
Oh, you have a choice. It just so happens that you have less of a choice. Good seeing you, Milos.
If I cared about my well-being, I would have never opened that letter. I would never have engaged in such conversation, never even give such wicked thoughts the light of day. The only reason I didn't was because he was right. My faith in Dorkau, what I saw, everything that was going on, none of it made any sense. A man like me comes to this vocation for two reasons: the power and the answers. I'm a silly man. I never cared for power. My mind has always been troubled by questions. Why are we here? What is the purpose of all of this? Why? Always why? And until then, these questions have been answered. But like nightmares, the questions came back as well. And worse than ever. The letter told me there was a meeting that was taking place in the cellar of a tavern by the Blood Gate, on the edge of the city. I'm merely by the walls, the black stone ascending as high as the mountains themselves, and bolder still. The runes etched into the stones are old and slightly withered. There was concerns if they were further damaged, they would not be effective at keeping out the arcana rot of the waste, but, well, The architect who brought forth that concern to the council soon went missing, and the question of the runes were soon forgotten altogether. On the edge of the city, the people here, the mutations are grotesque. The arcana rot seeps into their skin, their bones, changing them. They get worse by the day. It's astounding any of them are still alive. I reach the destination. I knock on the door. A moment passes, and then I am answered.
Ah, good. You made it.
You could have picked a better spot.
Trust me, I could not. Come in. This way.
It leads me downstairs to the cellar.
Did you bring a knife with you?
Yes, it's a dangerous part of town, even for a man of God.
Yes, there's certainly no respect for Dorkau in these parts. I see it.
Of course.
Interesting.
Yes, it's the minion steel, cooled with the sacred lakes.
No, it's fake.
What?
See, the minion steel has both a certain weight to it and an invisible marker only present in candlelight. Do you see such a marker?
No. Maybe it needs to be darker.
Milos, if it were any darker, we would not see anything at all.
Are you sure it's a fake? I bought it off a very reliable man.
Milos, I'm not chief of police. I think I know a fake blade when I see one. Now, come along. They're waiting.
We go inside and find ourselves in a small damp cellar lit by torchlight. There are 10 people here, most of whom I recognize. Mostly high-ranking military people. But one caught my eye. Alagor, is that?
Yes, that's the prince. The pretty boy.
Prince Rylok, son of Monarch Matrichny. Pretty boy was an ample nickname. He was raised high up on the towers, away from the Arcana Rod of the Waste. His skin was clean, yellow, hair red and luscious, and his eyes were that of a snake. He's truly one of the most handsome men in the kingdom, that was for sure. Should we say hello?
This is not a social event.
What is this then?
You'll find out soon enough. Major?
At ease, Lieutenant. Thank you all for coming. I'll get straight to the point. You know who I am. You know what I have done for this kingdom. What's more, you know the state that this great land has come to. It is on the brink of ruin. Crime is rampant. Disease festers the street. The army grows smaller each day. What's more, our leaders have grown weak and cowardly. Once we had systems run by meritocracy, nepotism, and corruption now reign supreme. Also, once strong has grown weak, turned to fat. I have come to propose a plan to remove said fat. But first, I need certain assurances that none of you will breathe a word of what is said here today.
You have my word, Major.
Your word is appreciated, Prince Rylok. But that is not enough. I need more. Torella, you can come out now. Out of the shadows comes a hideous woman. Gray skin, hunchback, bulging eyes, feral like a rat. And she reeks of death.
Major, what is the meaning of this?
You invited a hag into the city. That is prohibited.
Only recently. Many years ago, I was one of Dorcau's most trusted confidants. A shame of what happened.
Spare me your sympathies, hag. I've never met such a vile creature as you.
Enough. Gorilla is here under my request. If you want to hear what I have to say, you must accept that. What's more,
You have to accept what she will give you. In your hand is a potion, Juramentum. When you drink this, you accept that whatever I say to you, you will not tell to anyone outside of this room. If you break this oath, you will die. If this is unacceptable, you can leave right now. Good. Let's have a toast. To the kingdom.
To the kingdom.
We all drank it. In a moment it tastes great, possibly the greatest wine we had ever had. But immediately afterwards, our spirits sank. And we all knew that we were bound to dissolve. And to break it would be most dire. Now we got that out of the way. Perilla, ignite the runes.
Of course.
Suddenly, the flames go out. All is dark for a moment. Then they reignite. But now with a sickly green light. Apologies for the aesthetics. This is to ensure nobody would be spying on us. Dorkau has eyes everywhere, but for a so-called god, he is not omniscient. Dorkau is the very reason we are here today. Look at us, gentlemen. All of us noble men doing the best for our kingdom. And for what? Any land we would be granted is instead awarded to sycophants, promotions given to idiots, and the state of affairs are ruled over by cowards and fools. I repeat myself, I know, but here is one thing you are not aware of. 200 years ago, the population of the Resolve was 5 million. Now, it is 2 million. The Novera Resolve has forsaken its allegiance, and now fights for Necklace soon. The Dominion Resolve is on the brink of collapse, leaving just us, the Terrianus Resolve. And if left in its current condition, we will meet the same fate as the Dominion. I propose a regime change.
You seek to overthrow the monarch.
Not just the monarch, General Branus. I seek to overthrow Dorkau.
That's impossible.
It is very possible, Milos. It's just very difficult.
There have been coups before. Dozens, in fact. Monarch is easy. What you propose is in fact impossible.
And yet it must be done. We are not a society. We are a pack of pigs bred for slaughter. Everyone outside those towers are led into the Deadlands and given up to the Horde, torn to shreds and brought back again into this godforsaken army of the dead. And for what? This war that has been going on for nigh a millennia? Tell me, has any of you ever thought about going to Tekayun? Has that ever reached your imagination? No? No, we may think that we fight for our land, but Dorkau has us fight for himself. He doesn't care how many of us die, he only cares about that stupid mountain of his. Power for his own sake, what do you think he's going to do if he ever gets it? Do you think he's going to be grateful for us, for our sacrifice? Millions have died in the name of the godforsaken war, and there is not one monument dedicated to them. It's like they never existed. I am tired of people dying for no reason. To save this kingdom, you must do what is right. We must kill Dorkau.
I sympathize, Major. I truly do. But this simply can't be done. What reached me is but a man. Dorkau. Dorkau is a god.
Or so he says. I am old. Not as old as Dorkau or Necklace soon, but old and experienced enough to know the truth. Both of them are once men. before the calamity, but through magic and deals of true gods, they were able to achieve immortality. It is said that when he died, Dorkau cut out his own heart and placed it in a jar. There he withered for 40 days and 40 nights, and on that 40th night, the eyes of his corpse opened, revealing wicked black eyes, and he rose from the grave, having descended into hell and learning the most forbidden of magic, gaining the power to control death. What more, his heart lies in the great tower, in a room far away, and to this day it still beats ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. If you want to kill Dorkau, you must step into his heart, and all will be well.
This is your plan. This is nothing but a rumor concocted by a hag desperate for attention.
We've conducted missions of less intelligence.
None of them was to overthrow the God Emperor himself.
I understand your hesitation, but if it's intelligence you're after, we can get that with no issue.
This is not the issue, and you know it. I'm old enough to know of past rebellions, past coups. They end the same way, death and destruction. And what was changed is so menial it's barely worth addressing.
And I am well aware of history too. So much so that I have no intention of repeating it. So, here's the plan. We break into Dorcau's tower, find his heart, and destroy it. Simultaneously, Betritsny, who'll be assassinated, and his son, Prince Rylok, will take command, becoming the new monarch and now the sole ruler of the Resolve. We will then surrender to Necklace soon under the promise that he spares our citizens and that he destroys the horde of the Deadlands. What lies in Tekayun, he can claim for himself.
What makes you think Necklace soon will hold such a promise?
I don't know. That's to know very Resolve.
They are slaves and all but name.
And what are we? Does anything about the society appeal to your sense of freedom? Look at the wards on the walls outside. Dorkau can't even protect us from the poison of the waste. We may as well be one of those repulsive tribes and gangs that roam the deserts.
And those deserts will become worse if Necklace soon gets his hands on what lies in Tekayu.
And what? Do you think Dorkau will be more delicate?
The devil you know.
Will betray you all the same. What is your plan, Romulus? Since you are so resistant to mine.
My plan? Nothing. Not yet.
Then you have no right to criticize.
You will kill your own father, Rylok.
My father is a weak man, a coward and a sycophant. The people of the Resolve deserve better. When they pray for salvation in the gutters, they are answered with nothing but silence from the uncaring, unforgiving God. He killed my grandfather, and many more in my family for the slightest inconvenience. If he is willing to do that to the likes of me, what do you think he's going to do to you? The regime must change, for the sake of the kingdom.
And you will take his place?
I am the only one who can. It is my destiny.
Destiny. Now what of destiny, Dorcaen Milos? Dorkau claims that everything that happens is by his design. These words. Or are you merely speaking on behalf of him?
Well, I don't think he would want to kill himself.
Maybe. I have seen many die over the years. For this kingdom, for this never-ending war, for the God Emperor, and I fought myself alone into these issues of faith, of loyalty, of betrayal. I am glad to see that I am not. But I am not oblivious. All of you knew that this is wrong. You just didn't care. I am sorry it took the death of your son, Tyrannus, to become a revolutionary. Dorcaen, I don't quite understand what you are doing here. We are men of the sword, but you You are a man of God.
Milos plays a very important role in all of this. While the army cannot enter Dorcau's tower, his priests are able to roam free. He can gather the necessary intelligence. He can find the heart of Dorkau.
This is a very brave plan of yours. Brave, but foolish. I will have no part of this, and my army will have no part of this. And without me, well, there is no hope for any of you.
You flee like a coward and curse us. When I claim my throne, your head will be the first to roll.
I am not intimidated by the threats of a spoiled child. Just like I am not swayed by the half-baked plots of a grief-stricken madman and his legion of suicidal morons.
You dare!
Enough, Rylock. Romulus. Will you speak of this to anyone?
I can't. As I drank from your poisoned chalice. But one thing I did notice. There was no blood in this wine. Are you misleading us in any way, Tyrannus?
Yes, I was hoping to reveal this when we are all more comfortable with each other. But if you force my hand... In normal cases, when you make a bargain with Jurumentum, it requires a drop of blood. Your blood. To seal the deal. If this was a normal plot, the threat of your own death would be enough to guarantee your own silence. However, this is not a normal plot. This is Dorkau we are talking about. And there are many things worse than death that Dorkau can lay upon you. So, the stakes had to be raised.
What did you do?
You had to retrieve the blood of all your loved ones and place it into your cups. If you speak of this plot, you will live, but all you love will perish.
You monster!
Only a monster can defeat a monster. I've learned that.
You have no right. No right!
I have every right. Do you understand what Dorkau has done? The lives he has ruined. What I have done in return is paltry in comparison. If you object so strongly, break free and go about your business. Your silence is all I need, not your cooperation.
And I will take that as my cue to leave. Before I go, I want you to know that I sympathize with your plan, Tyrannus. I do. But it cannot be done. No man can defeat a god. Even a man such as yourself. I wish you all the best.
Romulus. Death to Dorkau.
Death to Dorkau.
I understand that my deception has upset you all, but believe me, it had to be done. This world is too precious to be left in the hands of that maniac. If my plot is too much for you, go now and hold your peace. But know that from now on, any man who dies in this pointless war, whether they're hung, drawn, and quartered in the town square, or torn apart by the horde, they die because of you. So, what do you say?
Death to Dorkau. Death to Dorkau.
One after another, we signed our lives away. We were no longer men, no longer bound to family or nation, creed or color. There was only one thing, one purpose, one mission. And all of those faithful words.
Death to Dorkau.
I don't know if it was the wine, or the nightmares, or the sheer amount of guilt I felt. But for whatever reasons, I could not speak. And what do you say, Milos? What do you say? Death to Dorkau. Welcome to the Brotherhood, Milos. And with those fateful words, we were doomed.
To be continued.